G'day guys, this is Captainoob and this is the AS-Val. This is one of the two weapons that are found in the 9x39 project. And yeah, this particular weapon here is a Russian-made weapon which has an integrated suppressor, so it's going to be nice and sneaky right outside of the box, so that's really good. As for the attachments in here, it's going to be less extensive than other attachments we've seen before, but we should be fine. So firstly, for the receivers, you've got the choice between a standard and a special. Now curiously, the special receiver says exceptional damage, inferior range, but when you go look at the range for a second here, you go ahead and look at the range is actually better with the special receiver, so I'm not sure what's up there. Whatever. So the standard barrel is the only one you can get. Standard stock, that's the only one you can get. In the magazine, you can go from a standard quick, extended, or extended quick, and this will add just 10 more bullets to your mag, which doesn't really look like it should. I reckon it should get a little bit more due to the length of it, but whatever. So we can chuck in an extended mag there. We'll have better reload speed and a bit more bullets in the mag. Now when it really opens up for customization in the optic slot, so you can choose between a night vision scope, a glow sight, a reflex sight called a cobra sight, and just a regular good old scope. We'll go ahead and chuck on the reflex sight because that'll suit us best in close quarters and it'll help us do a little bit better in bats too, should we come to it. Now, for the barrel attachments here, we can choose a handguard or a tactical handguard. Depending on which one of these you choose, you can get a flashlight if you really want to. You might as well chuck that on, why not? And you can go ahead and grab a vertical grip as well, which is really, really cool. And also a laser sight too. This thing's going to have the works on it. It's going to have a lot of things. And you've also got a damage slider here if the damage isn't quite doing it for you, or you haven't invested in riflemen to make this thing actually do very good damage. That's a pretty good little thing there. And of course, a legendary slot to chuck any obligatory legendary effects we might get. If we get bored with what the game has to offer, we'll go ahead and chuck on some of my ones. But that is the AS-Val. Let's get into Gunner's Plaza and start killing people. Righto, so here's the AS-Val. Now I've actually used this thing in a stream before, I think, but I haven't got around to testing it until now. It popped up in the request, so I thought I might as well go ahead and test it out. So as you can tell here, we've got a little bit of custom animations with this weapon too, which is really good. And that integrated suppressor is doing a good job at keeping us nice and hidden. Hopefully those turrets don't start blind firing at us, or we'll have a world of screen shake to deal with. We'll just round around this corner and shoot that gunner who has got something like a power fist. These turrets detect you quickly as long as they get eyes on you, so we'll take them out nice and fast to try and minimize our chance of being detected. These gunners are practically blind for some reason, so we'll take them out nice and easily. This is the perks of wearing extremely light armor actually, so there you go. So there's one over there. You know what, I'll deal with them later. First of all, I'll just slip into this, and there's that reload animation. You put the mag in, and then you put your arm under the thing to pull the charging handle, which is really good. Got detected there, unfortunate, but we can take him out regardless of the sneak attacks. This thing does quite a amount of good damage, which is pretty good damage for firing 38 special rounds, which I believe were on this weapon because it's the closest you can get to 9mm rounds, which makes sense for this weapon. You don't see a lot of use out of the 38 special rounds for anything, so I'm happy to finally get some use out of the piles of ammo that I've obtained by killing raiders and everything, so that's good. Take out that gunner there, and let's check out these animations in third person here for a second. Now you notice how the foregrip there isn't actually being gripped in third person like we've had a couple of other weapon mods do that, but this thing came out before them, so I'm not going to fault it there for not having stuff that current mods have. So now we're being quite swarmed, but you can tell there this thing does the whole reload animation in third person, which is good, but I think it's time to go back into first person to avoid getting staggered by the one with the gamma gun. She's quite nasty, that gunner. There we go. Slipping out of danger here because we're so super sneaky and stealthy, and we'll be able to do more sneak attack crits on these dudes, which is good. But for now, we'll just run up to here as we always do, and we'll spray this melee gunner down. Got a comment that said gunners without guns are redundant, and it made me laugh. And yeah, it's funny because it's true. I mean, what are they without the guns? They're just NERs, N-E-Rs. I don't know. We'll take out these legendary gunners. Quite the tanky ones, but the ASFL is making short work of them. And there's the old flashlight before I forget to show that off. There you go, you just get a big old flashlight in the front of your gun. It works exactly like a bright light on your power armor would, so I don't think it'd be too hard to chuck onto your gun. Actually, just gotta sort of make sure the activator's there. And maybe don't know what I'm talking about, but regardless, it's a nicely done port of this thing, and hopefully you've got some actual range to this rather than using your Pip-Boy light, although it does give you a little bit of tunnel vision. As you can see there, it's not all around you like a regular Pip-Boy light would be. But if you decided to chuck the weapon away and activate the flashlight, for some reason it sort of goes off in the distance. This is your weapon still making the flashlight, but if you want to sort of get rid of that effect, you could put your weapon away and then it'll return back to normal, which is useful. So that's about enough for this particular thing in Gunner's Plaza. Let's go kill Swan already. Righto, let's check this thing out against Swan. There he's fighting some sort of deers of some description, so now that he's nice and distracted on those, we'll make use of his incompetence and go ahead and sneak attack crit him to best of our ability. Now, unlike regular weapons that you would find in the game like the assault rifle or handmade rifle, this thing doesn't have quite as large ammo capacity to keep on firing at him, so that means he's going to get nice and close to us while we have to pause every few seconds for reloads. But luckily this thing is quite generous on the VATS side of things, so you get quite a lot of shots for your AP usage, and once he's done his stomp, we'll just get out of there as soon as we possibly can. And we're back into caution. We'll let that fade out for just a little bit more, and if we get a shot at him, we'll take him out like that. Doing more sneak attack crits, and that is about it for Swan. Playing to this weapon's strength and being stealthy is what I like to do with this thing, and it is damn effective while doing it. Let's go ahead and take on another monster, shall we? Maybe something that's a little more perceptive to make it more fair. Alright, so here we are against the bears, and I feel like I need to get some revenge for the mischief he caused me whilst I was trying to take him out with a quad-shot experimental Merv. This guy's surprisingly resistant to being mini-nuked over and over again, but what have you. So we'll just go and shoot him. Now he has detected us, so actually we won't do VATS yet until he's really close. I think that'll be a better course of action. Managed to cop a claw in the back as we try to move away there, but we'll be fine. We'll just sneak up this little route here. This seems to be a good place to sort of reset. As soon as we're sort of out of here, we're back into caution, which means we're right back into doing sneak attack crits if we're lucky. So right now the bear's probably naffed off to that side, and while he's over there we might as well do a little bit of sneak attack crits on him, but he's decided to run all the way back, so right now we'll just take out his minion bears because they're nice and squishy compared to him. Now these Duskies are actually quite tough, the top tier bears. They don't mess around, but if you can get yourself in a good position where they can't reach you or have to run straight towards you, you can do very well with the ASFL indeed. Not to mention this gun has basically no recoil really, and the only recoil you're seeing is visual. I don't have to pull down on the mouse or anything, but you're a little bit too close, mate. We'll just drop down here. Good old Acrobat's armor to stop us from taking any fall damage is always useful. Righto, where are you now, mate? So he's going to be standing right there like a big dumbass. We'll use that time just to get a little bit more hits on him. How are we doing for this? That's it. You've got him running around here. You know what, we'll just take him out and VATS a little bit. Pop a few crits in there, why not? May as well use some of them. There we go. Even though they do slow down our shooting quite a lot. But we're doing pretty good damage on the crits regardless. There we go. That is a close-up of his nostrils. That's not really that pleasant. And pressing the crit button out of VATS gets me to jump. That's good, but it appears that he's completely stuck, so we'll just continue to shoot at his face until he eventually drops. There you go. So, looks like there's a couple of minion bears I didn't actually kill, so I'll deal with them and then we can move on to the next monster. The combat music kind of inexplicably changed track, so that's kind of jarring, but with that explosion, I think it's a good time as any to go and fight another monster, so maybe something like a Mirelurk Queen. I haven't fought one of them in a while. Alrighty, so looks like a pack of Mirelurk Queens have showed up on my beach and it is my job to clear them out. There's one over there. got this thing fitted with the two-shot effect, so at the cost of a little bit more extra recoil, this thing will be not doubling output damage, but it'll do quite a bit more damage, so that's very nice. There's the Mirelurk Queen Broodmother over there, she's the biggest one, and as you can tell, she dwarfs all of the regular Mirelurk Queens around here, so she's a pretty scary foe to fight, but luckily for us, we're nice and speedy and sneaky, and this ASVL certainly helps with that, if the terrain doesn't get in my way. So unfortunately, when you're attacking Mirelurk Queens, they like to bathe you in acid. They just spit at you from wherever they want, with surprisingly good accuracy, considering they can't even see you. So that's a shame, so we should probably go wash that off before it starts eating through my skin into the water maybe. But as this radiation storm rolls in and I think it dissolved into a pile, and I'm just gonna stay away from these exploding cars. Yes, and 3 Mirelurk Queens are dead right there. I think that is about it for the ASVL. So if you'd like this weapon, I'll chuck a link in the description. I believe this one is on sorry. I believe this one is on PC and Xbox One only. Sorry PS4 players, you can't get this one. Oh well. Thank you for watching, guys. Did you just see that glowing Mirelurk fly right over my head during the outro? Man, this world's out to kill me today.